Narcissists bait you, and what happens when you don't bite? You know that feeling when something just doesn't sit right, when that comment stings, but you can't quite understand why, when you're drawn into an argument that wasn't even supposed to happen. Well, that, my friend, that's a bait. Narcissists throw it out like expert fishermen. They know exactly how to hook you emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. They dangle shame, guilt, and outrage just in front of you, just to watch you squirm, explain, react, or break. But here's the truth most never learn. You don't have to take the bait. And when you don't, you actually flip the entire script. So in this video, we're going to unpack the most common baiting tactics narcissists use. What happens when you stop reacting, and how emotional detachment becomes your superpower. So what is baiting anyway? Well, baiting is just manipulation disguised as conversation. It's conflict disguised as connection. It's a trap crafted to steal your peace and give the narcissist power. They use it to provoke emotional reactions, shift blame, gaslight you into questioning your reality, regain control when they sense you are pulling away. So here's the twist. It's never about the topic, it's always about your reaction. They don't care if you defend yourself. They care that you're engaged, because if they can hook you emotionally, they can still have access to your spirit. So here is a list of top 10 baiting tactics narcissists use. Let's break this down, as the following are their favorite traps. The backhanded comment, "Wow, you're brave to wear that." The pretend forgetfulness, "Oh, I didn't know that was important to you." Triangulation, "Well, even my friends, they think you're overreacting." Public provocation, calling you out in front of others to shame you. Guilt tripping, "After everything I've done for you, you still treat me like this?" The silent treatment, withholding affection or attention to force you to chase them. The fake concern, "I'm just worried about your mental health, Playing the victim, "No one understands how hard it is and how hard I have to work." Blame shifting, "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." Oh, trigger hacking, using your trauma as a weapon against you. Sound familiar? These aren't just behaviors, they're snares designed to strip your emotional clarity. So let's look at the psychology behind your reaction. Why does baiting work in the first place? Well, the thing is, narcissists are not triggering your mind, they're triggering your wounds. That comment, it hits your childhood. That guilt trip, it taps into the need to feel loved. That silent treatment, zipping it up, it whispers, "You're not enough." And in that vulnerable space, we rush to fix, to explain, to defend. And here's the game changer. You don't owe the narcissist a reaction to your triggers. You owe yourself healing. You want to know how not to take the bait? Emotional detachment. Not being cold to someone who is cold to you. It's not being rude. It's called protecting yourself. Detachment gets a bad rap. They'll say, "Oh, you're being cold." They'll say, "Oh, you don't care." They'll accuse you of being just like them. My mother used to do that. You just remind me of her. But emotional detachment isn't apathy. It's authority over your own nervous system. It says, "I see what you're doing and I'm not falling for it anymore. And I'm only responsible for my peace, not your projection. I no longer react. I redirect." It's turning your triggers into teachers. It's choosing silence over sparring. It's realizing that not everything deserves your energy. So, what happens when you don't bite the bait? Well, something amazing happens. When you don't take the bait, the narcissist gets confused. Their power dynamic shifts. Their tactics stop working. You stop spiraling and you stay grounded while they unravel. And suddenly, you're no longer in survival mode. You're in sovereignty. Now, they may try harder at first. It'll escalate, but that's because the game is dying and they know it. So just stay vigilant. Let's look at the power of going gray rock and going no contact. These are two of your greatest tools. Gray rock is becoming emotionally uninteresting. You respond without no spark, no emotion, no back and forth, give and take. You just remain neutral. You give flat energy. And no contact, this is the ultimate boundary. No texting, no checking, no defending your decision. Not because you're being cruel, but because peace has a price, and you're finally willing to pay it. See, Jesus walked away from those who mocked the truth. He didn't argue. He didn't plead. He just withdrew. And that's your spiritual permission slip. Healing the wound that caused you to take the bait. So ask yourself, why does guilt pull me in? Why do I feel like I need to explain myself? Why does silence feel like abandonment? Go there, because healing that root is how you stop being the narcissist's emotional supply. So let's take a moment for spiritual reflection and empowerment. God has not called you to be baited into chaos. He's called you to be anchored in peace. You were never meant to be a puppet on someone else's play. You are a temple of wisdom, a vessel of discernment, a warrior clothed in grace. And you don't have to match their madness to prove your worth. When you don't bite, you don't lose. You win. You rise. So, you're not disconnecting from life, my friend. You're detaching from manipulation when you stop taking the bait. You're not hardening your heart. You're handing it back to God. And that makes you untouchable. So the next time they bait you, pause, breathe, and say silently, if you must, I don't engage with chaos. I don't bargain with pain. I walk in clarity. I protect my peace, and I no longer bite. Because bait only works if the fish still believes it's starving. And beloved, you're not starving anymore. You're free.